photographer this evening, Waynna. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I am so excited about tonight's show. But before I talk about why I'm so excited about the show, I don't want to forget to let everyone know that we are celebrating Mr. and Mrs. Congo's birthday party. We're going to have the flyer up. So join us to celebrate Cherry and Sammy's birthday, Sunday, April the 7th. And it's going to be at the Legacy Center. And I apologize, why is this thing, you know what? It's going to be from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Legacy Center, which is 501 West 28th Street. And the dress code is casual. You know them. If you don't have a gift, don't bring one. Don't feel obligated to bring one. They would love to see you there to celebrate their birthdays. And going back to why I am so excited about tonight's show, is I have one of my favorite cousins. I'm his favorite cousin too, just so y'all know. And that is Everett Lacy. And Everett is coming to talk about Shine the Light on Stroke. It's going to be a 5K walk and run. I want y'all to join me walking. I will not be running, but it's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. Everett had a stroke about a year ago, and he is doing so well. And he had, you know, if y'all know Everett, he reminds me of my Uncle Buck. My Uncle Buck is his dad, and yes, y'all seen the movie Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck was Uncle Buck. Seriously, he was Uncle Buck. But Everett is just like him. And I say that because Everett is seated between two beautiful women. He would have it no other way. He could have sat on the end here and let Bridget sit over there, but no, Everett had to get in the middle. But I'm going to have the both Bridgets. I said, thank God both of y'all's name is Bridget, because y'all know I am horrible with remembering names. So Bridget,
yes.
Welcome to the Congo Hour.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're so very welcome. If you would be so kind and introduce yourself,
sure.
And then the other Bridget can introduce herself, and then I'll go to Cousin Everett.
Yes,
Okay.
So I am a local occupational therapist, and Everett has been my patient for about a year now. That's how we met.
Okay,
Yeah.
And Bridget, you are?
I'm Bridget DiMaio. I am Everett's speech pathologist, and we've been working together the past year 2 to 3 times a week, and
Okay.
he's doing amazing.
He really is.
Yeah.
And I'm a little jealous because Everett went on Good Morning Wilmington before he came on the Congo Hour. And so I'm a little jealous of that, but make sure that you can go back to DETV and watch Good Morning Wilmington when Everett was on there. So Everett, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Is there anything you want to share before we get into the meat of stuff?
My name is Everett. And I think we'll just go ahead and
You want to just talk about it? Okay. All right. But I was sharing earlier before we go on, I always do a live show. My best friend since 2nd grade, Marla Blunt Carter, also had a stroke, and she is doing amazingly well. So I'm just so grateful that God saw fit to heal them. They're still on their healing journey, but it could have been worse. So I'm just so grateful that both of them are doing well. So let's talk about the 5K
Yes.
walk and run. It's going to be Saturday, May the 11th. Okay, and let's talk about more. Tell me more. What else can we expect?
So this was actually Everett's idea. He brought this idea to us. He felt the need for, to build a bigger and better community for stroke survivors and their families, their caregivers. Just to have other people to talk to know what shoes they're in. And yeah, so he came to Bridget and I, and we have just kind of took it and run with it. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's doing pretty good.
It is.
So far we made
We've raised about $18,000 so far.
Okay.
so far.
Yeah.
And we got to raise a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes. Everett, do you remember what made you come up with the idea?
Well,
Take your time.
it's a lot of
African American.
Yes.
Yes.
and it's like I noticed with me, it's like I know just about everybody that I talk to has one, and it's like really, I mean, I see so many people that do the
They've been affected.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I wanted to do this.
That was very thoughtful of you. And yes, you are correct. I don't know the statistics, but I know it's high in African American and brown people.
About 50% increased risk.
Really? 50%.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is going to bring awareness to strokes.
Yes.
I know that it is a lot of deaths are caused by strokes as well. So
Yes.
once again, I'm just so glad that you are doing so well. I've seen you come such a long way.
I know.
We're
You
so
really
proud of
are,
him.
I know.
When everything that happened, my sister was talking to me on a
Phone.
yeah, and later on after that, Cindy couldn't talk to me. She was like wondering, like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you talking? At this was the time where everything was happening with me. And so she just like, all right, I'll talk to you later. That's when everything that happened. So I came home at night, all the way till
The next morning.
everything. The first time, everything I was fine. But when the next day, when I woke, this was gone. I couldn't even.
Okay.
That's when I knew what was.
There was something going on.
And I tried my best to get to the window, and I had delayed my neighbor. Seen.
Saw you.
She happened to see me, and normally she doesn't come out my way,
Wow.
and that's when everything.
That's okay. Well, thank God for your neighbor.
Yes.
And you mentioned Cindy. Cindy unfortunately won't come be on camera, but Cindy has been so supportive of you through this whole entire ordeal.
she's amazing.
She is definitely amazing. And that's one thing that I love about our family, Everett. Like, no matter what we go through, like, we always stick together. I know when I went through my health challenge, Everett was my main cheerleader. Everett would call me and text me, and he gave me the nickname Victory. And we would play the song, so I love you and so appreciate you for
love him so
that.
much,
Yeah. So from last year to now, will you share with us the improvement that Everett has made?
Yeah, so Everett is kind of handling two different main things regarding speech and language. He has something called aphasia, and aphasia is a language disorder that a lot of patients that have strokes can experience. So what you kind of notice with Everett is some difficulty verbally communicating, so an expressive aphasia. And then he also has something called speech apraxia. So he has trouble coordinating the movements, trying to figure out how to make sounds and put words together. when he first came to me, he was not able to really communicate much past the word level. And he actually got a speaking device to help him communicate primarily in the beginning, which he's come so far. And as you can see now, he's able to hold a conversation with you.
Yes.
And it's really fun just to see more of his personality, and we call him the mayor of Wilmington.
Oh my. He loves that.
He is just the most wonderful, outgoing person and shines a light.
Yes.
That's kind of how we came up with the name of the race.
Okay.
And just been an honor to get to know him.
Yeah.
So
Huge heart.
Yeah.
I know he keeps y'all on your toes.
He does.
Yeah.
I loved them. I loved them. I really.
I know you do. I know you do. Yeah. Yeah. So I can attest to that, where he could not form words at all. And I know that it was sometimes frustrating to him. But I was excited because remember I told you I'm his favorite cousin, right? And my daughter came over to visit Everett. And at that time he wasn't really talking, but he said Waynna. She was like, he said your name. I was like, that's because I'm his favorite.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come so far. Some of the other things that I've worked on with him, you know, he couldn't even write his name in the beginning. He could use his right arm. You know, he could feed himself, get himself dressed. But a lot of times he would draw pictures to communicate.
Okay.
So now, you know, he's signing his name. He's writing close to full sentences.
Yeah.
We've worked on a couple art projects because he loves that.
Yes,
Yes,
he-
I've incorporated
Very
that.
artistic.
Yes, very
Yes.
talented.
Yeah. My dad likes that. Yeah.
Yes, Uncle Buck used to draw as well. Yes. Can Cindy draw Everett? Can she draw a stick man? Can she draw? Cindy, can you draw? No, she said no, she can't draw. But she can pray, but she can't draw. Okay, all right.
Having that support system is just so imperative
Yes.
to
Yes.
recovery. And
Yes.
so many people that have strokes don't have that support
I
system.
know, yes.
And so even with a support system, it can be so challenging to have access to all the resources you need. And part of, I think, Everett wanting to put this race together was bringing the community together so that people could meet each other and not feel so alone and isolated.
Yeah.
It's a really lonely recovery.
Yeah.
And he's shared a lot about that openly with us. And then trying to bring local businesses to show how they can benefit patients that have had strokes. And then in return, we can promote local businesses too. And so we've had a lot of local universities want to get involved, and some other assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities, really just looking to kind of help and support the community. And it's been a really positive experience so far.
Is
Really great.
is strokes hereditary?
I mean,
there can be a
it
genetic component.
There
yeah.
can be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you think about things like high cholesterol or high blood pressure, which can run in families, those are all risk factors that make your risk of having a stroke go higher. So if you break it down into different reasons why a person might have a stroke, those can be a genetic
Okay.
familial
Diabetes.
Understood.
Diabetes, obesity.
So
Yes.
Everett, and on that note, do you watch what you eat now?
No.
Yes, you do. You are very healthy. Except for the treats he brings us once a month.
No,
Cindy's saying no.
but I do a little bit though.
Okay.
Yeah, I
well,
do.
that's important. I mean, listening to what they're saying,
Yeah.
it's important. So I really need you to do better, okay?
Yeah.
So that you can be around a longer time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He stopped
yeah.
smoking right before this happened, so
Yeah.
that's another
Yes.
factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Following
That's
up with your
good.
doctors.
Yes.
Taking medications daily.
Yes.
Yep, I do get that. Yeah.
Yes.
You do that.
Yeah.
You better.
Monitoring your blood pressure. You're good about all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are doing, I mean, you are
Yes,
taking the
yes.
necessary steps to live longer. But let me tell y'all something, stroke or no stroke, Everett always is sharp.
Oh,
Yes.
From head to toe.
Yes, yes, I love it. Yeah, it's so fun seeing his personality shine
Yes,
through.
yes. Nothing changed there, cousin.
no.
I try.
You do an excellent job.
Okay.
So let's talk more about the actual 5K walk and run. We'll have the information up on the screen so that people can, I want you to give, even if you can't come and walk, or sponsor someone to walk. What time does it start?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay. And what else can people expect there? I know we're gonna have a DJ.
Yes,
We're
we
gonna
want it
have
to
a
be a
DJ.
big celebration.
Yes.
What about the
The sponsors.
no? I can't get it.
Take your time. You can get it.
Um,
We got a whole hour. Take your
Right.
time.
Oh, we partnered with Move to Include, and they're going to have, they have adaptive running chairs. So any of
Oh.
our stroke survivors that aren't able to walk, run, have a wheelchair, they can be part of the event in that way.
Wow.
It's really
Yeah.
inclusive.
Yes.
Yes.
Try to be really inclusive,
Yeah.
keeping everyone in mind. It's a flat park, which is good, no hills, so
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very beautiful park.
Yes. And like Bridget
ample parking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Like Bridget said, you know, we want to bring the community together, local businesses. So we're going to have a bunch of different tables of sponsors, you know, just really promote awareness, resources,
Okay.
prevention.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a raffle that we've been working hard on.
All
Really
right.
exciting.
Yes.
This is
so-
big,
I
Everett.
know.
Yeah.
It's huge.
What a-
His first one.
I know. I
You
know.
know,
Yes.
it's not. It's. I really like it though. I really do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And he was
Very
big on where he wanted the money to go to too. You know, a
Okay.
lot of
So yeah. How you tell it?
yeah, you go ahead, you try, you do it.
Nah, you go ahead.
so he's been very appreciative of all of our services for him. And a lot of stroke survivors can't afford all the extraneous expenses that come along with a stroke, whether that be, you know, out of pocket for assisted devices, for a wheelchair, for speaking devices, thickeners for swallowing, transportation to and from their appointments. You know, people are having strokes younger and younger, and they can't always, they don't always have the family members that can drive them to appointments
Yes.
because they need to support them and continue working. So, yeah, we're excited about all of the proceeds.
That is so special,
Yes.
Everett.
Yes.
And Everett's planning on giving a speech at the race too.
Oh my.
Oh, that.
Oh, that.
He will. He will.
Yes.
He
Yes.
will.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Every time that he comes into therapy, and it's not an exaggeration, he's got a smile on his face. He's giving everyone a hug. He's saying thank you. Monthly, he brings in breakfast for the staff.
What day is that?
He's just,
Huh?
Is it a set day?
No.
No.
When
I'm come to your appointment that
yeah,
day.
he just
Yeah.
is so appreciative.
you would like to come down someday and watch.
I would love to do that. Yeah. I
Always
know I
welcome.
said this the last time, Trippy, last week. Mr. Congo has shared this saying, and I take it everywhere I go, that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So by you doing that shows that you care about those that are caring for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So true.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Right now.
You can't think of anything?
Not right now.
And tell him about the signs of a stroke we put on the website, all the videos that we took of people.
Okay.
You want to talk about that? You want me to talk about it?
He getting tired now.
I'm
So-
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Part of the initiative is to educate the community, and a lot of times we notice that our patients come in and explain that they didn't know they were having a stroke, the first signs of a stroke. And so one of our initiatives has been taking all of our patients and compiling a video of each of their stories and what their signs were when they were having a stroke, so that anyone watching it can understand how it can look different person to person. And so we use the term Be Fast, and that's like an acronym to describe things like balance, changes in your speech, slurred speech, vision changes, facial drooping, really bad headache, confusion, and it looks different from person to person. And so I think it's really important that people understand that if they're having signs of a stroke, you really need to get to the hospital as quickly as possible. The quicker you can get to the hospital, there's a chance that you can receive a treatment that will reverse the signs of having a stroke. Not a lot of people know that. And so trying to just spread awareness, and I think it's really special to see personal stories of everyone, because we cover people of all ages.
Okay.
And it affects everyone, you know, it's not biased. And so I think it's really important just to know signs to be looking out for.
And we can view that video where?
Yes, on our registration.
It's on the registration, which we're going to have up on the screen.
Yes.
So,
yes.
okay, I'm definitely
He's
going
the
to have
first
to
face
look
you'll
at that.
see in
Yeah.
the video.
Okay. Yes.
You know, I had two.
Yes, I do.
Two, and the first time everything was really pretty. It wasn't until the next one that's when I got my
Your speech.
yeah, and yeah, so
Yeah.
You've been doing great though.
pretty good. Yeah.
Very good. He's a hard worker.
Very.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah.
You're good. So the cost to participate, the donation, the investment, I'll say, is how much?
To register is $35.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a section to register, and then there's a section to donate. There's also a part of the page where you can create a team, like you said, to have everybody join together. You can create a fundraiser.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about before we go?
We touched on it.
Did we touch on everything?
Anything else, Sev?
Like right now, it wasn't until later on I'll be like, oh.
I wanted to say that.
I just want to say that I had a good time today.
Oh.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming,
Thank you.
because not everyone is willing to share their story. So I appreciate you for being brave, even with your speech, not always cooperating with you the way that you wanted to do, that you still came on. I thank you so very much for wanting to bring awareness to others. And just being the person that you are. You've always been very special, so
Thank you.
I love
Thank
you.
Love you too.
Okay, all right. And Bridget, I want to thank y'all again so very much for taking care of Everett. And I want to personally thank my cousin Cindy for all that she does, because it's a sacrifice. You know,
No, it's a pleasure.
Caregiving is no joke.
Yeah, so kudos to cousin Cindy as well. All right, well, thank you three for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Everett's in glory with y'all two sitting next to him. He like, keep on talking. But yes, I look forward to seeing you all. Please, please, please support this very important run, raise, shine the light on stroke. Once again, it's going to be Saturday, May the 11th. It's going to begin at 9 a.m. It's at Glasgow Park, which is on Route 40. And I look forward to seeing you there. If you have any questions, the information will be on the screen for you to reach out. Hi, thank you again.
Thank you.
All
Nice to
right.
meet you.
Nice to meet you
Yes.
as well. Yes, most definitely. All right, so I'm going to take a break. I have no idea what I'm going to come back and talk about, but we'll figure it out. All right, I'll be right back.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Good evening and welcome back to the show. I pray that you got a wealth of information from my cousin Everett Lacy and his two therapists. Please, please, please sponsor or sponsor someone, come out yourself, or just donate towards that wonderful cause on shining the light on stroke. I want to, because this is the Congo Hour, I always want to take the opportunity to encourage our viewing audience to pre-plan your funeral. Just for an example, they're planning a 5K walk and run. We plan birthday celebrations, which we are planning for Mr. and Mrs. Congo. We plan for holiday events, but unfortunately, we do not take the time to plan for our funeral services. I prefer to call them celebrations of life. So I want to encourage you to give Kim a call at 302-652-8887. You can just call if you just have any questions about it. Some people may be a little hesitant on doing it. Kim will explain the whole process to you. What I love the most about when you pre-plan your funeral services is that, and I always use my dear mother-in-law forever, Bishop Aretha E. Morton. Mom planned her funeral, pre-planned her funeral with Kimmy years ago. So when she passed away, the services for the funeral home remained the same, although there was inflation and the prices of funeral services were higher. She paid exactly what it was from the year that she passed away. The things that do not stay the same would be what's considered outside charges. For example, if you or your loved one wants to be buried, the opening and the closing of the grave, that is considered an outside charge. So that charge would not be concrete when you plan your funeral services. So that's just one example of what would not stay the same. But please give Kim a call. She is wonderful with assisting with people pre-planning their services. It can be sort of fun, for a lack of a better word, when you get to kind of sort of reminisce on the things that you've done in your life, which could go into your program. You can pick what song you want. You can say whether you want your glasses on or not. And although that seems very minute, trust me, there are families that want their loved one's glasses on. Some people don't want them on. It can become a whole argument about if she wore them or if he didn't want them. So you will be able to let your loved ones know exactly how you would like your services to go. So give Kim a call at 302-652-8887. And while we're talking about planning, I did mention Mr. and Mrs. Congo's birthday celebration, which is going to be let me look. I forgot that fast. I know her birthday is the 2nd, his birthday is the 8th, but the actual party is going to be on Sunday, April the 7th, starting at 2 p.m. at the Legacy Center, which the address is 501 West 28th Street. And I shared earlier, they are really not into people bringing them gifts. So please feel free to come. The dress is casual. They just want you to come out and celebrate. And I want to encourage you to please come because they have been both of them have been so instrumental throughout our community. They're the ones that started our community. I'm not sure if they started the cleanup, but they definitely started the trip to, where did we used to go? I forget what amusement park, but they would take community children to an amusement park each year. They do the senior cookout, which I know at one time was at their home in Hockessin and outgrew that and ended up at different locations. And that's where they would have the seniors come and enjoy themselves. We play games, we sing songs, we play bingo, we do Simon Says. What else they've just done so many things. I know at one time, Mr. Congo, they both had a staffing service where people in the community that had had misfortunes happen to them, where other people would not hire them, Mr. Congo would hire everyone and anyone, and he always gave so many different chances to people if they messed up. We were all welcome to come back, and I say that because I'm sure I messed up a few times as well. So they love, love, love helping people. So please show your appreciation by showing up to their birthday party. The flyer is up on the screen. Remember, you don't have to worry about bringing anything. Just come and show them your love and appreciation and celebrate them with another year of life. They're in their 80s. And Mr. Congo still gets up early in the morning to work. Miss Congo still working hard. I tell both of them, like, y'all need to retire. But for some reason, they won't sit still. So please, please, please come out and celebrate them with us on Sunday, April the 7th at the Congo Legacy Center, 501 West 28th Street at 2 p.m. I promise you, you will have a ball. I'm going to take a quick break and I will be right back.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I was sitting here thinking, like, what in the world could I talk about? And there's several things that I can talk about. However, because I shared about celebrating Mr. and Mrs. Congo, and I love Sammy's Corner. Mr. Congo has a wealth of wisdom and knowledge that is so beyond anything sometimes that Trippy or I could even think of. Like I shared with you earlier, he has these sayings that he always shared with us, and a lot of those I will always remember from him. So in honor of Mr. Congo, we're going to dig in the crates and we're going to show you a clip of when Mr. Congo was here doing Sammy's Corner. And I promise you that you will gain something that you can carry throughout your life to live by. And so thank you so very much for tuning in. If you or someone you know would like to be our guest on the Congo Hour, you can reach out to me directly at 302-521-7325. Please make sure those that are on social media join our Facebook page, the Congo Hour. We would love to have you there. To come on to be a part of our social media family. And as well on there, we've asked for people to give us ideals of shows, not only ideals, but we want you to give us things that you think that we can do better, things that you would like to see more of or not so much of. Please share those things with us. So thank you again for tuning in, and I pray that this week is the best week of your life. Good night.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Welcome to the Congo Hour. This is a different face than you're accustomed to. Trippy's kind of working, and Waynna had to do some other things, so they was looking in the bag and they found me and asked me to come and share with you some of my thoughts. And I've been very, very, I guess, what's the word, bad, by not coming and sharing with you the Sammy's Corner. Sammy's Corner was, and I designed it to kind of bring to everybody's attention just things that other people don't want to talk about. So I've got a whole hour to talk about what other people don't want to talk about. So I guess you'll either change the channels or turn it low so you don't hear all this crazy talk that I talk. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about just being alive and healthy and can get around and still meet people and talk to them about old times and just how much progress has been made all over the world, here in Wilmington. And I don't know of any place that I would like to live other than Wilmington. I know probably 90% of the older people, and I know a lot of young folk, and they are all wonderful. The old folk are wonderful, the young folk are wonderful, but they're coming up in a different era where the values that we were accustomed to try to grow into, they don't have to do that, which you'll end up with a different product. I don't think that we insist on being respectful to the young folks. A lot of young folks are very respectful, but there's too many that aren't. And I think that that is part of how some of them get in trouble, because the courtesies that we owe each other and owe everybody, we don't extend them as much as we should. And the values of that, and just expecting someone to be really, really courteous to you and happy and cheerful are just not there. Sometimes I'll walk past a young person and speak very clearly and loudly and ask them how they're doing, and the only thing I get from them is a grunt. And I think that's awful, because they're missing out on a lot, because they're missing out on relationships. When I see a person and I see a smile, or I try to create a smile, or I'm looking for a smile when I speak, no matter whether they intend to speak to me or not, I have them speak to me because I speak to them first. I just think that that's the kind of things that should be in the curriculum in the schools, and practice that in the schools, and let folks know about how important it is to greet people with a smile, and almost, I guess, whistle a tune of how happy you really are. And so this is kind of the things that will, I guess, create the excellence in relationships and in how we deal with our neighbors and our friends and people at work, to make this a better place to live. It is a great place, but continuous improvement in what we do is very important to me, because times change and things change. Often, a few years ago, I had a good friend who passed. His name was Jim Gilliam, and we did a lot of vacations together. And I would notice that when we would get into the islands and we went to the real upscale places, everybody was more happy, they were more content, and they had smiles on their face, and they felt good about themselves. But when I would go into the outer perimeters of that area, there would be a tendency you had to be careful on where you went. And because people at that time, this was many, not many, but a long time ago, in those islands, people were making 30 and 40 cents an hour. And so they weren't able to, and they had to keep up with people who was making $20 an hour. When they bought a pair of sneakers, there was not a store just for them. And in order to get some of those things, they many times resorted to crime to get them. And I find that this is a universal problem, that when you go to the neighborhoods where there are privileged people to have nice homes, nice jobs, great education, you get smiles and courtesies. But because people are disappointed and angry about the way they're treated and they have to live, and so many of them are in a situation where they made mistakes early in life. But the way our society is structured, they can never overcome them. So for the rest of their life, for this one mistake they made, they have to suffer. So we have to begin to change, and maybe when a person has made a mistake and they pay for it, that should end the whole stigma that is placed upon them. And so I think the same thing happens right here in Wilmington, or Newcastle County, or the whole state of Delaware, where I find that that young folk make mistakes, and we all made them. But I guess some of us just got away with them, and we haven't been stigmatized with the kind of situations that prevent you from living in these conditions that I just spoke of. So I think that there should be some way that we have a good go-to meeting time where we meet and talk about changes, and changes that affect people who have had little chance to survive and tried to do something to maybe eat, to feed somebody, to keep warm, to get a coat, to get a pair of shoes, and they don't know where the resources are. They're proud. They don't want to go to some of the resource places. They don't know how to do them. A good example is, how do we get the communications out? I was watching on TV, or I was hearing about the fact that the city of Wilmington had a forgiveness water program, and they had to give some money back. And that shouldn't be. I know there's too many people that need that. How do we publicize and make it easy for people to take the advantage of these kind of concerns, and not just concerns, but opportunities to not have your water turned off, but to get out of the hole when you had a hard time and the water bill keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the fact that having access to where you pay your bill or how you can pay your bill by phone, people that don't have those resources to understand how to make these things serve them also, just like they serve the privileged people, is something that we have to work on. And I'm not trying to make things worse than they really are, but I wanted to make things better than they really are. And everybody can be served with graciousness, dignity, respect, courtesy, and all those good words that make everybody feel happy. When you're courteous to a person, no matter how they feel or what mood they're in, or you are just a real warm, courteous person, and even though they may respond in a non-courteous way, and you just keep on saying, you're too nice not to be courteous. So where's that smile or whatever you want to say to make the situation easier? So I guess in these latter part of my life, I look back over it, and I've almost committed myself to that kind of setting, that I can serve being a Boy Scout master, because I don't hear about Boy Scouts anymore. I don't hear about Girl Scouts anymore. And all these resources, girls clubs, create some new kind of clubs. I worked for the YMCA. There were so many club groups there, and they were all designed to make life successful to every person that joined the YMCA. The Boy Scouts gave me experiences that I will take to my grave. They were great. And we had little mottos on talking about the best works of life. I think that the church is a wonderful resource. It has all the tools that will allow you to be successful. I think that the schools are great, but I think that the curriculum that worked 20 years ago cannot work today because people have changed today. And it's like putting a old motor in a new car. It won't perform like the other cars do. So I'm encouraging folks to just make your community wonderful. You live in that community and be a participating person on all the activities. You can't just go home and shut the door. You know, in these communities where we think people are just doing nothing, they do a lot. They communicate. And they communicate keeping everybody abreast of what's going on in that community, keeping the standards of the community up. And so we have to encourage for more community participation. We got to ask for more and better housing. And I think that we have a great opportunity. We have a gentleman that is the president of the United States, and they send money everywhere. And I think that if we would just be diligent and bring to his attention what he can come back to when he's finished being the president, and the city that he lives in would be not afraid of crime. And crime is where people are put in a setting that breathes and you can't get away from it. So we've got to get rid of those crime settings. Police can't do it. The schools can't do it. It's more within our own community that insists on certain behaviors and be diligent in how things go on in the community. I think it's a crime that I hear people say, I can't go sit on my porch. Well, this is your community, and if everybody who lived in that block got together, something would have to happen. It happens in communities that have the resources to get things done. And people will listen to a crowd more than they listen to one person. So I want you to become more active. And when you go home at night, just say, what more can I do to serve my community? You went to work to serve your family. Now you come home from work to serve the community so that you can sit out on the porch, so that you can smell flowers, so that you don't see a boarded up house, so that you don't see cars jacked up, dirty streets where people just won't want to live in a condition. Nobody wants to live in that condition unless you have to. But that condition in which some people are living can be changed by everybody in that community making sure that there are funds available. If we can send trillions of dollars overseas, then we can send trillions of dollars to little pockets of the community in this town and in this city and in this state that have been forgotten about. And so we need to open our eyes and open other folks' eyes and work as a team. I don't think we get anywhere by threatening. I don't think we get anywhere with violence. I don't think we get anywhere with any of those kind of strategies. But I think that we can get around when we work as a team. People outside of our community can be a resource. And as long as they feel safe, I think they'll be there for you and me and other people. And we must put aside time to serve that community, whether it's a lady or old folks that's in the house and can't get out and cut the grass, go to the store, cook a meal, to show that kind of community involvement. Wilmington will be the best place on earth to live. And people will come from near and far to live here. I know that when the stigma of it being the greatest crime city in the United States was not good for this community, and people reacted to it. They didn't come to live. They didn't want to bring their children in those harmful kind of conditions. I think that Wilmington has changed, except that we are still not providing the resources that change that environment, that breeds unhappiness, that breeds crime. And people need to have different exposures. I think that we have a lot of really cool stuff here right in Delaware. You don't have to go to Montana or Texas or Florida to get a change in your exposure. I think that your exposure is right here in little Delaware, where I haven't seen everything. And so we're gonna take a little break right now, and I'm gonna come back and talk a little bit more about how I think that Wilmington is and will and always be a wonderful